Fast boats and super sports cars. For the participants of the Lamborghini driver training in Barcelona, Spain, this wasn't a dream, but a real experience. Driving at the limit, and even a bit beyond.
The
Lamborghini is a very exotic automobile. For me, it represents speed and tremendous power. Tremendous power you somehow have to tame. It's no coincidence that there's a steer on the company's emblem. Before they can tame the Diablo VT's sheer endless power reserves, the drivers first have to practice different safety exercises. For example, full braking with an anti-blocking system at 70 miles per hour, including an evasive maneuver. If the car's rear end goes into a slide, the driver has to get it back under control again. This occurs easily with the Diablo on the wet, slippery surface. But after some practice, the drivers were able to display some impressive drifts. Braking in the curve, a difficult exercise. The rear end slips away, and Nino D'Angelo wasn't the only one who had his hands full while trying to get the Diablo back on track. The next driver couldn't avoid spinning out, and his car kicked up thick clouds of dust as it left the track. This abrupt exit showed how quickly the Diablo can reach its limit if pushed too far. For this reason, the Lamborghini driver training in Barcelona has two top priorities. We can offer a lot of driving fun here as well as safety training. Even if we are on the track, it's still important to drive safely. This is why we conduct driving exercises before we go to the limit. These are very dynamic exercises in which high curve speeds are reached. You really have to brake while approaching the curve and force the rear end to follow. It's important for the participants to know what to do in these situations. You're driving a Lamborghini at the limit here. And it isn't exactly a cheap car. Indeed, the Diablo VT buyer should be prepared to come across with around $200,000. For that price, you'll get 14 feet of concentrated power. The flat, aggressive-looking super sports car looks faster standing still than many cars do at 120 miles per hour. Behind the wing-shaped doors, the interior is filled with carbon fiber wherever you look. Pure power, 12 cylinders, 550 horsepower, and 620 Newton-meters of torque. All-wheel drive and enormous tires transfer the Diablo's power to the street. The front 235 width grippers seem modest compared to the 335s in the rear. Guest instructor Johnny Cicotto takes the participants for a spin around the track to show them the ideal line. Afterwards, 2 cars at a time followed the instructor around the track. Round for round, they approach their car's performance limit. To keep the risk to a minimum, the instructor informs them about speed, proper gears, and the ideal line by radio. Shift down 1 gear, stay on the gas, and take a clean line into the curve. Then straighten out the wheel and go full throttle. The training course lasts 2.5 days. 1.5 are held out on the circuit. Lamborghini supplies the cars. Next year, the Italian organizers want to stage 4 to 6 driver training sessions on European and American tracks. Included in the fee are flights, room and board in a 5-star hotel, a racing suit, and of course, the exclusive sidelights. The price? About $7,500. Not exactly cheap, but all the drivers were enthusiastic about the perfectly organized event. In the exercises we conducted today, the drivers had an optimal chance to discover just how the auto behaves when they go too fast, slam on the brakes, enter a curve too quickly, or when the car goes into a slide. Here you can learn how to save it and guide it safely through the curve. The highlight on the track was guest instructor Johnny Cicotto in a 590 horsepower Diablo GTR. He really let it rip. An additional highlight was offered not far from the track, an outing in a 4,800 horsepower King Cat catamaran. Just the right thing to get into the mood for a sumptuous outdoor evening dinner at which the drivers could rave once more about their experiences on the Formula One circuit. A thrilling driver training program in a diabolically good car.